Hey guys, Dr. Tess. Welcome to TessMD's Monday Night Book Club. I see you. Hey, thanks for being early to the event. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Tess Washington, board certified physician and surgeon. On this channel, we focus on the optimization of your looks, love, wealth, and health. And on Monday night, we're going to start having a book club thanks to one of my TikTok favorite people, Edwin. He's like, Dr. Tess, let's have a book club. Okay, Edwin, let's do it. And we're going to do it on Monday night. So, the first book that we're going to start having our book club with, let me know if you can hear me now because I got my little mic. Hey, there he is. There he is. Hey, Edwin, how you doing? Hey, how you doing, buddy? So the first book that we're going to feature on our book club is TD Jakes. Don't drop the mic. Now, we decided preliminarily with my TikTok family that this book has, Evan, what is it, 400 pages? So we said that we would divide this book 28 pages per day, right, Edwin? Let me know if I'm right or if I'm wrong. You gotta keep me on point here. And if you divide 28 pages per day, we should be finished with this book in 2 weeks. All right. Now, why did we choose this book first? And if there's a book that you want us to read, leave it in the comments or feel free to DM me or send me an email. My email is in the bio. I chose this book because primarily this is the problem that we have right now. We are not communicating. We're not communicating whatsoever. We're canceling. We're talking at people. We're waiting for our turn to speak so that we could get our point across as opposed to listening to a different perspective. When I came up in school, one of the main things that we had to do was debate. Think about it with the presidential election or anything else when someone is running for office, one person speaks, they jot down a few notes, and then the next person speaks. That's not the way that we communicate right now. And we get angry and we consider ourselves done, DUN, then we stop communicating. Let me give you a personal example. I just started with a new accountant team and we were conversing back and forth with some emails. And I took the question a little bit offensive and I said, hey, text and email can ruin all kinds of relationships. And we just met each other. How about if we do a Zoom conference as opposed to getting offended and assuming what was intended? When we did a Zoom meeting today, basically the question they were asking was in my favor. Now, just imagine if I had just assumed and stopped communicating, right? So that's the reason why we cannot stop communicating. So I had a chance to cheat a little bit and read some of the book over the weekend. Now, this will be my first video, first book club. So you guys may have to help me out because I'm not necessarily, I've never done this before. And that's another thing for those who are watching this video on replay. If I'm sitting in front of this camera, you could be sitting in front of this camera because I'm literally learning as I go. That is not devaluing you, but that's saying that I feel as if I have a message and I want to get in front of people. And as opposed to waiting for perfection, which we all know that that really doesn't exist, I'm going to work out the kinks and I'm going to start getting on this network and I'm going to start getting my message out. And at the end of the day, if I could change their life or be a positive role model for someone, then that means I did a good job. Same thing for you. If you're a YouTube, if you got a Gmail account, you can start your YouTube channel and I will support you. Pinky swear. So, Edwin, you said that you have some pages that you have to get done. That's right. It's 28 pages per day. Oh my God. Look, let me tell you something. When you do start your YouTube channel, You better have you an Edwin. This is totally my favorite person in the entire world. He's already read 79 pages. Well, you read a little bit more than me, Edwin. So I can mention some of the things that I really felt like resonated um, thus far. I've read like a little bit less than 100. Edwin is we're pretty much neck and neck, and I thought that I was going to be the one in the lead. But mainly, what I love about the way that T.D. Jakes wrote this book, it's almost like he's talking to you. It's a very difficult book to stop reading. Now, I'm not sure like how a book club is supposed to go, but how about if I just start off by just reading kind of like what his preface is. So basically, this is a number one New York Times best-selling author, T.D. Jakes. He's been speaking in front of audiences large and small for decades. And over the years, he has learned a thing or two about communicating with his audiences. Now, for the first time ever, Bishop Jakes shares the wisdom and skills he has learned to help readers communicate better themselves because he is an outstanding communicator. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen him do his. Well, let me pause for a moment. For those who may not know who T.D. Jakes is, he's a pastor. I think the name of his church is the Potter's House, and he is highly acclaimed. Multiple books, just Google and YouTube, put in TD Jakes and you put in TD and it'll spell out the rest, Jakes. He has more so now relinquished his throne in his pulpit to his daughter, who is amazing. And he has launched a world tour, just trying to touch as many people and change as many lives as possible. So that's like a little brief preface on who TD Jakes is. And I'll add more of a bio on him in the description box. But moving on with regards to the front of his book, whether you are preparing to speak on stage before thousands, present at the next budget meeting, preach a sermon, or deliver a diagnosis, this book is full of practical advice and solutions to help you get your message across. And I definitely agree. After I started reading this book as a doctor, where he says, present a diagnosis, there are so many times that I have like literally quoted passages straight from this book when talking to patients at my virtual practice over the weekend. You're familiar with TD Jakes? It is. And I don't know. Thank you, Edwin. I just randomly picked this book. You are very familiar with him. I'm so glad, guys. And Edwin has already mentioned our next book in 2 weeks. And that's what I could do, Edwin. I can kind of like just at the end discuss what our next book will be that we're going to review. So I'll be sure to put that in the end card if I do any editing, or we may just put it in the description and just let this go with no editing. So basically, the process Bishop Jakes uses to create his sermons, which connect with hundreds of thousands each week, how to tailor your message for intended audiences, the importance of body language, how to be ready to make every opportunity count, when and how to use silence to speak for you, why how you present yourself matters, and drawing lessons from scriptures and his own life. Jakes gives career advice for those who have or want to grow into the speaking career. But he also provides clear direction and insight for anyone who gives presentations, writes emails, or talks to other people in their job, at home, or in their life. So, what I gathered so far from this book is to stop talking when in front of someone and listen. More so, elaborating on the fact that we have two ears and one mouth for a reason. A lot of us talk too much. And that was one of the main take home messages that I got from the book, where he basically was stating to be a good speaker, is to be a good listener. And if you think about that, that really means a lot. And the gift of speech. This is a privilege to be able to speak. Think about people who actually cannot speak, or people who cannot articulate what their point. They have a point or they have a message, but they have a hard time relaying what they're trying to relaying. They have a hard time getting their point across. Okay, so basically, Edwin, were there any particular sections of the book that you wanted to bring up? Um, as far as the number of chapters, guys, there are a total of 15 chapters and an appendix, and it's broken into parts. So the chapters are broken into parts, and each section is pretty much relaying basic things. So, since what I really like is, Edwin, did you read the chapter when he said, preach, but don't preach? That really resonated with me. Let me just see what you just said right now, Edwin. That is why Dr. King is so famous because, yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Guys, I don't remember the era, but media, please take advantage of it. This is the strongest communication platform that we have right now. And anyone can be on. If you have a phone, if you have any, most of the apps are free. Communicate, communicate, and learn how to listen. One thing that, like the chapter, I used to do this a lot. And if I ever do still do any of these things, I want you guys to let me know because I don't want to be that kind of a person. I used to preach. I mean, I would say, then I figure when I'm done speaking, the point should have been received. The person should do what I say. After what I said, that's not how you communicate. And I was ineffective and I didn't know. You have to have a conversation. Page 26, paragraph 2. You aren't just. Okay, so let's go there. Thank you, Edwin. Okay, so page 26, paragraph 2. You aren't just a result of what you say. You are a result of who you listen to most often. Engage with consistently and spend time around socially. 50% is your work, and 50% should be your network. Get out the house. Absolutely. This is awesome. Edwin, and I'm just so glad that you would point that out. And you're 100% right. If you're the smartest one in your circle, there's a concern with regards to your growth. There's a reason why there are mastermind groups. The average mastermind group, everyone in that group is a specialist in their area, and they're all gaining information from each other. And I just love the fact that you realize how important that is. Guys, we have to have a strong, positive circle. Okay. Your network is your net worth. So if everyone that you're hanging around is just like, what do you do? I just want to sleep in. I don't want to read. We should be reading a book a week. We're just ramping up by starting with one book for 2 weeks. But at the end of the day, guys, let's build that muscle to the point that we are reading a book a week. I don't care if it's this thick, okay? Let's read more. It's imperative. Most of the strategies for success are on the shelves because people have already done it and they've written it in their autobiographies. If we read what they did, like Steve Jobs, and then we duplicate. So success is already there for us. All we have to do is read it. And paraphrasing and getting it from a YouTube channel, that's not always it. Just make time at night. Put the book on your book stand. I mean, on your nightstand. We're trying to turn the lamp off at night. You accidentally knock the book on the floor. And because when we get off right now, I'm going to go upstairs to the roof. I'm going to relax and I'm going to read some more. So we have to incorporate that in our everyday strategy. See, absolutely. We discussed that. Definitely. Social networks are so important. And not just your immediate social network, be a part of community organizations like your chamber. You be a part of your local chamber. What's it? Next door neighbor. There's an app. There's a park that I had not been a part of. I'm being honest with you guys. In the neighborhood, that's where I went to vote. I was like, wow, what a lovely park. So I'm going to start going and spending more time in the park. If there's a speakers guild, Toastmasters, definitely nonprofit. I mean, that goes without saying. And go out and meet with people. We're free to go outside now, right? I mean, we're vaccinated, right? So go outside and meet people and enjoy this life. Page 39, chapter 1 and 2. All right, let's check it out. To those of you who are catching this on the replay, we are reviewing TD Jakes' Don't Drop the Mic, and we'll be here at and if you would like to purchase a copy, a link is in the bio, and it is a part of my Amazon affiliate link. I get a small amount back, but it doesn't raise the cost of your book at all. It's just saying thank you and allowing me to continue my channel. So, page 39. Got to look right there, paragraph 1 and 2. Okay, page 39, paragraph 1 and 2. Fear must never be the obstacle that blocks your development, growth, and maturity as a communicator. Fear of failing, fear of succeeding, fear of what others will think, fear of what your mama will think, fear of making a fool of yourself, fear of being misunderstood, criticized, and taken out of context. As with any area of personal growth, fear is likely to be part of the equation. And I'll stop right here and I'm going to continue on. But if you're afraid, do it. Push yourself. Because always remember, the brain's job is to keep you safe and comfortable. The brain is that voice that you hear that tells you to wait 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. And then when you finally get up to go to work, you late. But the brain knew that you just want to stay on those warm covers. The brain's going to tell you, no, don't do that. That's what Mel Robbins, she says, the 5-second rule. Think it and do it within 5 seconds or she'll talk yourself out of it. Fear is an emotion. You are in charge of your emotions. If you fear, do it. You're standing by the edge of the pool, you're at the deep end, you fear jumping in, jump in. If you know how to swim or if there's a life raft. Yeah, but don't kick and stuff because you'll float to the bottom. You may drown. So I'm not saying to just jump in the pool if you don't know how to swim or if there are negative safety measures. But you understand what I'm saying. Don't fear anything. Now, one other thing, he talks about seasons. And he mentioned in here your mom, kind of like, don't necessarily pay attention to what your parents say. Remember, there's a season. In other words, there's a generation gap. Your parents don't know what you know. They're not supposed to. Okay, you can have some cool parents that are really down to earth, but you will know more than they know. And I'm not going to mix up two, but Miles Monroe, he said your parents don't even know who you are. Now, that's a deep one. He basically discusses that your parents, you had to get here some kind of way. Every single person has a purpose. And God wanted you on this earth for a reason. He couldn't drop you off. So your parents had to get together for that moment in time. Bam, they served their purpose. Now, the rest is for you to find out your purpose once you get old enough. there's a very good possibility that when people say, my parents just don't know me, they really don't understand me, you're right. Because your reason for being here is different than their reason for being here. And a lot of us really want to get the approval of our parents, or, I really care. We should care out of respect, but we should not care out of stagnation. For example, given another personal situation, my mother used to get so angry with me being in front of this. Why are you always on the YouTube, the videos? Oh my God, why don't you just go work at a hospital? She used to get so angry. And guess what? My mom gets sick. And guess what? I needed to spend more time at home. And guess what? Allowed me to spend time at home. I am making a handsome income from doing social media, from sponsors, brand deals, affiliate links, and we'll go into that in another video. Now, even before I started this video today, my mother was helping me with the lighting for the thing that she told me I didn't need to be in front of. Now being in front of this is helping us both. I didn't listen to her because I knew that I was looking at it from a different perspective. The seasons. Your parents don't really know you. Respect them. But if you got a drive to do something, or if you have an idea, respect them. And some of us can be fortunate enough to have innovative parents that kind of like think, out of the box. But most of us kind of like have old school parents, and they're like, no, just get a job, join a union, go on your lunch break, and go get a pension. But that's not my plan. I can relate to a section on fear factor, page 39. Exactly. Here, let me finish that. When it comes to communication, however, fear is but one variable among many, not the limitation that prevents you from being heard by those around you. Owning your fear is the first step in facing it. That's what we just talked about. And facing it to overcoming it. Okay, we got to own it. Yes, I'm afraid. Yes, yes, I don't want thumbs down. Yes, I'm afraid of bad comments. Yes, I own my fear. So now I can conquer it because I own it, right? I think that's what they were pointing towards. I have been a public. Oh, wow. Ooh. Bravo. I have been a public speaker for over 40 years and learned to overcome fear by facing them. God did give the spirit of fear. Love this. Say, oh wow, yes, yes, wow, that's quite amazing. I did not know that about you. Well, thank you so much. Maybe you can help me out there a little bit because we're just putting our toe in the water. We're just putting our toe in the water. But congratulations, brother. 40 years. That's amazing. That's outstanding. If you have a YouTube channel, I'd love to follow you and help to support you in whatever you're doing and to help you to increase your growth. Wow, that's awesome. It is fear that keeps us holding on. And where there is love, fear cannot exist. Exactly. Exactly. Edwin, I had a I used to always be afraid to speak. I wanted to speak I was in this group, Los Angeles County Medical Association, and whenever we had these big events like in Sacramento, oh my God, it's like 600 people in the room, and they're all doctors and they're all smart. I never went up to the mic to this day. I was a delegate. I never went up to the mic because I was always afraid that someone would whisper, that's a stupid question. And then I know some people who every time they went up to the mic, they would ask stupid questions, but they always went to the mic. And I was like, gosh, you know, how do they have? So one day I'm going to go back to a LACMA meeting and I'm going to go up to the mic. No, it's CMA. It's not LACMA. I've spoken at LACMA, Los Angeles County Medical Association, but I've never spoke at a CMA delegate conference. Never. So that's on my agenda. Out of fear, out of fear of what people would think and fear of how people would judge. So it's, yeah, definitely. So, and now continuing on, the sound of your voice. Let's check that out. This is on the same page, guys, page 39. I'm often amazed that people rank speaking in public near the top of their list of worst fears. Known by the clinical word glossophobia, fear of public speaking terrifies some people more than death. Well, it's not that bad. I mean, I'd speak before I'd rather die. So that's not the case. More than death, divorce, cancer, unemployment, spiders, and snakes. TD, really? Okay. Now, all of those certainly frighten me, especially those last two. TD Jakes is afraid of spiders and snakes. Wow. But allowing any of my fears to prevent me from doing what I'm made to do may be my fear of all. It's not that I no longer get nervous, anxious, or even fearful prior to stepping on stage or standing in the pulpit. It's not that I can't relate to stress of wanting to have other people understand the layered idea that seems to clear in my mind, yet often get tangled when I attempt to weave my words together. My amazement is because people who refuse to face their fear of communication before crowds, corporate gatherings, or congregations lose more than they save by avoiding such opportunities. This is so awesome. Miles Monroe, who I've gotten to the point now I listen to Miles Monroe every morning, and I just love him. He died in a plane crash, but I feel like he was a prophet. He was such an amazing man. He said, and I think Les Brown has said this too. So many of the great, powerful, motivational speakers have said this. The best ideas and dreams are in a cemetery because the person died before they had a chance to transcribe it into a manuscript, a book, a YouTube channel, some kind of a platform. There are, we can go to Michael Jackson's video right now. He's not alive, but he is. We could go take a book off the shelf from many great leaders. They're not alive, but they are. And that's what he's saying. Guys, we got just like this gentleman who 40 years he's been like speaking and being visible. Correction, God did not give us a spirit of fear. Oh, yes. 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 Brother, don't make me go get my Bible. You are 100% right. I remember hearing that in a scripture. Fear is something, you know what? Let's go back. Even to the Old Testament, before Timothy, when God was talking about Adam and Eve, right? And when at first they were just running around naked, run around, jiggling, naked, right? They weren't aware. When God looked down and he saw that they had bushes and leaves and everything else, he's like, how do y'all know to be ashamed or to cover up fear, right? We didn't, a child, think like a child. Children are not afraid of anything. The car could be moving 80 miles per hour. They see a ball bouncing. They just want to jump out the window and get the ball. They're not fearful. They see a outlet. They have a stick in their hand. Like, I wonder what will happen if I stick it. They're not afraid. Mommy, that lady, look at her dress. They'll say anything. They'll dance in front of the grandma. They'll do everything. Then as they get older, they get shy. We learn fear. You're 100% right. That is not a gift that we came with just joined. Where we read. Thanks, Day Day. Hey, we are reading from TD Jakes. Don't drop the mic. That's going to be our book for our book club for the next 2 weeks. And if you want to purchase one, you could get one. Well, there's a link in, you know what? In my bio, there will be a link for the book, and it goes to my affiliate site. But I just get like a small amount, but it doesn't do anything to your cost of the book. You can either get an audio book or you get the hardback. I'm old school. I like to just, I like to feel like I'm doing something. So I like to have like a hardcover book. But yes, it's TD Jakes, and Edwin has picked out our book for 2 weeks, and we'll put that in the bio as well. What the book will be 2 weeks from now. But we're going to be working on this book day for the next today and next Monday, and the following Monday we'll have a new book. Okay, so we're hypothesizing it's about 400 pages. So by next week we should all be about 200 pages in. Okay, so hopefully you'll go ahead and you'll get it. I listened to the audio and you know what? I know that's a good idea. You know what? I may do that. I may have to copy you. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I like that. A lot of people do that. And I think like your first book is free if you use my audio link. So, you can make this your first book. So yeah, so that is awesome. Day Day, I hope that you're familiar with TD Jakes. And listen, guys, it doesn't always have to be like motivational. I mean, we could read some science fiction. Well, yeah, I think that we should pretty much keep it fiction. Like maybe let's do some autobiographies. Well, like maybe it doesn't have to necessarily always be motivational, but let's make it like inspirational. Like maybe let's do a few autobiographies. And I think that our next book helps to change your consciousness. So this one helps with communication, and the book that Edwin selected helps with our consciousness. So we'll work from that aspect. Now, brand management. I know that you guys maybe didn't get that far, but I was flipping a lot. This is huge. And guess what, guys? Let me read a little excerpt from brand management. Brand management is on page 193, and it's the second caption down. When your moment at the mic boop, arrives, your audience has already started their relationship with you. Before you ever open your mouth to utter that first word, reading this book, you can like see him talking. Before you open your mouth to utter that first word, then within the first 60 to 90 seconds after you begin speaking, they will already be forming conclusions. What kind of conclusions y'all form about me? Huh? Tell me. They will already be forming conclusions about you and your message to determine if you're worthy of their time, because time is your most valuable resource. You guys could be doing anything else. You don't have to be sitting here with me. She's like, do I even, okay, I'm going to sit here with her as opposed to blank. Is she worth it? That's what he's saying. And their attention. Depending on the setting, you may have their time because they feel socially and culturally obligated. Y'all don't feel obligated. You guys can leave, but I don't want you to. Hold on one second. Let me see what Day Day says. Oh, okay. I know who TD Jakes is. I'll get the book. Okay, cool. I'll follow you and Edwin on Clubhouse. Thanks to Edwin. What am I? Edwin. You know what? That's what I meant to do. I meant to chime in our Clubhouse friends. Ugh. Okay. Next Monday, we're going to merge in Clubhouse when we do our book club, because I can't see them. So I can still give you guys eye contact, but I'll just have Clubhouse off to the side. Well, Day Day, thank you for joining. Welcome to the family. And please know that I consider it a privilege that you're here with me. I'm humbled. I'm humbled to you being here. And I hope you enjoy our Monday Night Book Club. So the second paragraph, but We all know that even as we sit and nod at the visiting pastor, the principal of our children's school, or the consultant brought into the workplace to motivate us, we still have a choice. You can still get up and leave. We can sit there and politely endure the sermons, school updates, or the pep talk, or we can fully engage and receive the message being delivered. In light of our recent necessary changes, many events and meetings that we once attended in person now utilize virtual participation. You know what I like about this? This guy wrote an entire book during the pandemic and it's already out and he's already touring. I mean, I just look like beyond. That is so just outstanding. And how many of us are like have ideas? Me. I've been saying for the longest, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. This man has written a book. But I think, and Mr. Hartley, you could probably comment on this. I think once you get going, once you start writing, you just go, go, go. Like as a 40-year speaker, like once you start doing it, you just do it, do it, do it, do it. So I think maybe that's how it's done. And that's the reason why it was so important for us to meet tonight. Number one, I said that I would. Number two, we have to get some consistency. And number three, I want to be reliable. So this is, and I think that once you get the, because digressing for a second, Edwin, you remember we have tried this so many times, right? And we had a problem with the mic or delay, or the picture was fuzzy, or we didn't have the bandwidth. Guys, you just don't know. I've had to get like the bandwidth. I had to have AT&T come out. I had to get new cameras. I had to get all kinds of things. So let me digress for a second. If you do want to have a social media presence, another reason why you should just get out there and just do it is because there are going to be some things to come up. You go, oh, oh, I didn't expect that. Things are going to come up. Things are going to come up. And if you don't get your feet wet, you're not going to work out all the kinks. Because just think, guys, next Monday is going to be better than this Monday, and the Monday after that, and the Monday after that. So that's pretty much why I say we must all get out here and live our dreams. You should also send out reminders. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Edwin, I had to be honest with you. Let me tell you what happened with the mailing list. So I've been with Constant Contact since 2016, 2017. I decided that I wanted to leave. So I left. And I went over to MailChimp or something like that. I hated it. I mean, it just wasn't, because I'm used to Constant Contact. I didn't even realize how used to Constant Contact I was. And then I wanted to add in like these videos. I wanted to do this and I couldn't. So guess what I had to do? I had to call him back and say, okay, I'm coming back, because I left with her. And by the way, I left with this whole list of complaints. And not only did they let me come back, they let me come back after they gave me a couple of months free. So basically, I got to re-put the mailing list back on there. And you remember that other software I told you we have, Edward, now, where we could text? And there's this third software I'm getting, and it's called Dial My Calls. So from the mailing list, I can text you and I can call you. Well, it won't be me. It'll be just a voice. And I can send out a message. So absolutely. So thank you. Just know I'm on the case. Thank you for suggesting that, though, Edwin. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you bringing that up. I love how this book is also so relevant. He includes COVID-19 and information about George Floyd. Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's so like like purposeful, like intentional, and it's just because he's just so phenomenal. There eventually emerging a natural flow in writing, but especially in speaking. There eventually emerges, oh, really? Wow. That's good to know. Um, that's good to know. Because I haven't done either. Not yet, not yet, not yet. I want to, but so this is something that you would know as a tenured professional in this arena, and this is something that I hope to learn. So thank you so much, Mr. Hartley. Well, guys, here's what we're gonna do. We're coming up on about what time is it? 40 minutes. I have never done a 40-minute talk. Wow, this is awesome. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wrap up. And as mentioned earlier, I'm going to leave a link in the description box with a source that you could purchase the audio version, or you could actually purchase the hard copy. And we'll be back here on Monday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time, discussing. Next week, we'll be discussing Don't Drop the Mic. I'm on every night on TikTok at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And we just spend like a little brief time there. And all the other social media platforms. If you want to follow me, click the link in the bio and it will take you straight to my social media platforms. If you like the channel, please feel free to follow, click the bell so that you get notified when we go live again, and so that you will be on for our next episode of TessMD TV. To my co-hosts, thank you so much, Mr. Hartley, Day Day, Edwin. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to go and read some more of Don't Drop the Mic, and I hope you decide to do the same thing. Dr. Tess, and I'll see you next Monday on TessMD TV. Take care.